All right, so in this video, we're doing KK5, which is more about outliers, but this time we're going to be describing the effect of removing it. So first, we'll just go through this example. So first we need to select the outlier. So again, we want to look for something that really sticks out. So it's either really, really high or really, really low. So in this case, we've got everything in the 80s and 90s, and then we've got 874. So I would definitely say that that's the outlier. And then the next part of the question, if the outlier were removed from the data set, what would the mean increase or decrease? So let's just remember that the mean is the same thing as the average. And we find this by adding up, all data points and dividing that by the number of data points. So what would happen if we removed the 874? So since this is so much higher than the rest of the numbers, if we were to remove it, that would mean the mean would go down closer to the rest of this data because this would sort of pull the mean up. So if you're taking out a high number like this, then that would make the mean decrease. All right, so let's do that again. So in this case here, just erase this so it's not in our way. In this case here, we have 3 and then a bunch of stuff in the 60s, 70s, and then 80s, and one thing in the 90s. So I would say that 3 is the outlier here. And if we remove the 3 when we're finding the average, that 3 would pull the average way down. So if we got rid of it, then the mean would be closer to the rest of this data, so that would make the mean increase. So in this case, we took out an outlier that's a lot lower than the rest of the data, so the mean is going to increase now. All right, so another one, I would say that 94 sticks out. It's way lower than the rest of these numbers. And since we're taking out an outlier that's smaller than the rest of the data set, so everything else is in the 500s to 900s, that 94 would pull the mean down. So once we get rid of it, the mean will increase closer to the rest of those numbers. All right, so one more here. So we've got a bunch of stuff with 3 digits ranging from 460 to 964. And then we have this really high number, 4,686. That's definitely our outlier because it's way higher than the rest of it. So just like before, if we included this in the mean, it would sort of drag the average up a little bit farther away from all these numbers. So if we took the outlier out and found the mean, it would be closer to all of these numbers. So since it's so much higher, it would make the mean decrease. And that is pretty much it for identifying an outlier and describing the effect of removing it.